All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Adam Berzin from MSDW, and I'd like to welcome you to today's session, Dynamics 365 Contact Center, Real-World Insights and Best Practices, brought to you by AlphaBOLD. We're excited to have Rosie Valenzuela and Rob Wenstrand, both from AlphaBOLD, here with us today, who will share their expertise in real-world insights on optimizing D365 Contact Center. So if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to type them into the chat box, and Rosie and Rob will get back to you via email after the session ends. We'll also be recording the session, and it'll be posted on MSDW most likely within the next few days. So Rob, without further delay, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. So today we're going to talk about Microsoft Dynamics Contact Center and talk a little bit about what it is, how it can help you in your business. And then we'll dig into a little bit of some insights and implementation tips that we have gained from doing real world implementations of this application, and talk a little bit about licensing as well. So again, to kind of go through our agenda, who is AlphaBOLD, who are Rosie and I, why Dynamics 365 Contact Center might be of interest to you, what Dynamics 365 Contact Center is, some insights and implementation tips, and then we'll follow up with more about some of the licensing. So to go ahead and dig right in, who is AlphaBOLD? So, well, first off, I'm Rob Wenstrand. I'm the Senior Director of Dynamics here at AlphaBOLD. I've been working with the Dynamics application since, I believe, 2005. So the version 3.0 of the application. That means that probably this year will be 20 years working with Dynamics. I'm also here with Rosie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rosie. I am a senior Dynamics consultant here at AlphaBOLD. I have extensive experience working with some D365 apps, including the customer service app, customer insights, portals, and much more. I'm excited to be here today and share some insight on the D365 Contact Center and how I can help you and your customer service in operations. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rosie. So who's AlphaBOLD? So at a glance, we have industry experience in AEC, construction, supply, manufacturing, healthcare, and many other industries. We are a worldwide organization. We can support your needs 24/5. We have our own unique intellectual property, and we've got consultants around the globe.
At AlphaBOLD, we provide a comprehensive suite of technologies to help businesses streamline operations, enhance customer engagement, and drive innovation. Our expertise spans multiple platforms, ensuring that we can tailor solutions to meet your specific needs. Now, we understand that every business is different, which is why we offer multiple engagement models. We want to be able to deliver a solution that is helpful to you and your business. If you're focused on refining line of business processes to maximize efficiency and effectiveness, we offer solution optimization. If you're looking for expert guidance available on demand for troubleshooting, strategy, or immediate technical needs, we have ad hoc consulting available. We also offer business and technology assessments where we can identify inefficiencies, gaps, and opportunities for process improvement within your organization. Our approach to delivering successful solutions is built on what we call the BOLD methodology. This is a structured yet flexible framework that ensures that we drive value at every stage of the project. Thank you, Rob.
Cool. Thank you, Rosie. So now, without further ado, that's us at AlphaBOLD. Let's dig into why we're here today. So today we're talking about Dynamics 365 Contact Center and discussing some ways in which Contact Center could be a benefit to your organization. So why Dynamics 365 Contact Center? So our customer expectations are higher than they've ever been before. 64% of our customers wish that the companies that they're dealing with would respond faster to their changing needs. 75% of customers expect consistent cross-channel experiences. And we'll dig into that in a minute. What does cross-channel experience mean? $3.7 trillion in US loss annually from poor customer service. So again, customer service expectations are higher. Our service teams are not equipped to meet those customer expectations. We've got 77% of our customers thinking that the self-service options provided by companies are they're irrelevant, and there's not a good path to hand off to customer service reps. 76% of the service reps themselves are overwhelmed by the number and variety of information systems that they need to utilize. And then, of course, the data. So supervisors and managers, we're collecting and getting all of this information, but we're not using it to do analysis to improve our business processes. So why are these poor experiences so common? Well, let's take a look at a typical service organization. We have a number of different channels. I'm going to go ahead and use my cursor here to point it out. We've got live chat, we've got social, email, SMS, voice, and most of our customers are using these different channels with different pieces of technology. They may have a chatbot application, so the customer service rep needs to have that piece of software running. You may have some social bots, but the handoff between the social bot and the customer service agent oftentimes leaves much to be desired. There's, of course, contact us forms. So we've got emails that are coming in. Customers are now text messaging. So we might have a text messaging service. And of course, we take phone calls. So we have customers coming in through oftentimes a legacy telephony system or a software system, coming in through an IVR. So basically an auto attendant, so a voice system. Again, in most cases, these are fragmented systems, siloed data. These systems aren't talking to each other. So with Contact Center, we can modernize with a complete solution. So we can take live chat, social, email, text messages, voice. We can actually even create streams that are coming from our, maybe you have IoT devices in the field feeding you sensor data. Maybe you have a Teams message. And utilizing things like chatbots and IVRs and unified routing, we can route all of these calls or these different types of channels of communication to the people who need that communication. So customer service reps and even frontline technicians. So providing a frontline technician the full chat transcript of a phone call that a customer service rep has with a customer can be invaluable for helping that technician solve a problem in the field. All right, so that's why Dynamics 365 Contact Center. So let's talk about what Dynamics 365 Contact Center actually is. So many of you on this call will probably be familiar with the Dynamics 365 offerings that Microsoft provides. I'm just going to go over the platform at a high level really quickly to kind of bring everybody up to speed and on the same level here. So Microsoft offers Dynamics 365 applications to solve specific solutions. So you've got Dynamics 365 for sales, for revenue forecasts, for sales, for opportunity tracking, pipeline management, and of course, managing your customer database. We have Customer Insights, which is an add-on for marketing. So with any Dynamics suite, you can add on Dynamics Customer Insights, and that allows you to do mass blasts, journeys, capture forms, all the things that you would expect a marketing suite would be able to handle. And then on the service side, we've got Dynamics 365 Field Service for our field service interactions. We've got dispatch. We've got customer service to handle things like ticketing and cases and problems from customers. And then we have Contact Center. And today we're going to talk about Contact Center specifically, as it fits within the same suite of services. Now, before I dig any further, I'm going to use a term that Microsoft used previously, and that's something called omni-channel. So previously, we had Dynamics 365 Customer Service for helping out customers with ticketing, and there was a bolt-on called omni-channel. Omni-channel was the functionality that allowed you to take communication from multiple different channels and bring it all into a single, we'll call, workspace. Well, what Contact Center is it's a superset of that functionality pulled out of customer service and made independent. So you can use all that same functionality, voice, chat, emails, all coming into a single workspace, but have it built around just your core database account and contacts. And the cool thing about that is that we can now expand that license, the functionality out into our other branches. So we can add Contact Center functionality to sales, to customer service, to field service, so that one single database, you're able to handle all of those customer communications in a single location. So again, what Dynamics 365 Contact Center is, it's built on the Dataverse platform, just like all of the other Dynamics 365 databases. If you already have Dynamics 365 customer service, for example, you simply, there's an add-on license that will bring this capability into your environment. So it brings together all of those different channels we were talking about into a single unified interface. Finally, the customer service, field service, and sales can use these contact features and attach to them and use the functionality that we're about to show you into your existing environment.
All right, so let's go ahead and explore the agent experience. The best part about the contact center is that it provides agents with a single centralized interface for customer interactions. As Rob already mentioned, it integrates with all D365 applications like customer service, sales, field service, portals. Those can all be used in conjunction with the contact center to streamline customer interactions. It reduces the need to switch between multiple systems because it's already there for you. With that, agents can resolve cases faster, leading to increased productivity. And if needed, you can also integrate with external apps if you're using a third-party site. Now, it provides a real-time customer insights and interaction history like case comments, emails, phone calls. These are all available to the agent to help provide a more personalized service to your clients. And now we have AI-driven recommendations to further support agents by suggesting responses and solutions in real time. Now, how did the customer interaction even reach the agent? The contact center uses what is called unified routing. This is an AI-powered scalable system that ensures customer inquiries are directed to the most suitable agent. It operates in two stages. First, we have classification. The system analyzes a request using predefined rules and AI models, categorizing it based on urgency, required skills, and customer priority. Next, we have assignment. The request is prioritized and assigned to the best agent based off of skill set, availability, and workload provided. Now, how does this help us? First, it ensures the right agent handles the right case, improving first contact resolution. It also reduces wait times, which enhances customer satisfaction. It provides a unified view on workforce utilization, enabling better management. And lastly, it uses AI-powered skill matching to streamline work distribution and reduce manual intervention. Now, what about those common issues or general inquiries? Allow chatbots and virtual agents to do the work. The contact center uses AI-driven self-service automations to help businesses reduce agent workload while providing customers with faster resolutions. Chatbots and virtual agents allow businesses to provide 24-hour customer support, ensuring that customers receive immediate assistance at any time of the day, whether it's checking your status or submitting a question on common inquiries. These AI-driven assistants are available to help. By handling repetitive inquiries, chatbots help lower case volumes, call volumes, allowing your customer care team to focus on high-value interactions. And of course, if a situation does require any human intervention, chatbots can escalate cases and calls to live agents, ensuring seamless transition from automated to human support without ever frustrating your customer.
All right. Thanks, Rosie. So I think many of you have heard about or have used Dynamics in the past. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick breakdown of what's called the contact center workspace and walk you through what an agent would see when they receive a communication through contact center. So what we're looking at is what's called the contact center workspace. And we're looking at currently the items that are assigned to their inbox within customer service workspace. So typically an agent would be potentially working on a few things, and they would get a screen pop saying that there's an inbound chat or a call, or potentially they'd be working on one of these pre-existing items. And this could include things like chats, Teams messages, messages from social media posts, SMS, emails, etc. So in this first pane that we see over here on the left-hand side, we have a list of open communication items that require attention. Now, in the center, We have our communication panel. So let's say that this agent accepted a chat call from their chatbot that's posted on their website. They would be able to talk to that customer right here through the communication panel. You'll notice that there's a number of different options we have here. We can actually bring other people into our chat as a way of bringing more collaborators to help you solve the issue for the customer. We can transfer this to others within the system. We can send emails, add attachments, potentially do screen shares. So depending upon the type of communication that you're doing, this communication panel will change. Another example is if you were able to get a phone call, you would actually be able to see the live transcript here, as well as do things like transfers, bring in others into the call, things like that. The next pane over, we have our customer details. So this is a configurable pane that's going to change depending upon the communication that comes in and the other information that might be tied to that particular conversation. In this case, we're taking a look. We see some basic customer details. We can actually take a look at the timeline of other activities that we might have had with this particular customer. We can actually see some insights that AI has provided to us or related to this customer, showing us information about things that them using a rebate, for example, or that she had contacted previously, things like that. So a summary of activities that have happened with that customer. Again, everything within this particular pane can be customized for your business need, as well as the channel that's being worked on. This pane over here on the right-hand side, which of course can be collapsed, is our Copilot. So this sort of AI-driven contact center allows you to query your database by asking it questions. So you could ask more information, say about Serena or the Trailmaster X4. As you can see, here's one of the products that Serena has worked with. And it would plumb the depths of your database and give you the answers that are available, as well as pulling in external data sources like, say, your knowledge base or SharePoint document stores, things like that. Last but not least, we have on the right-hand side, just additional features and functionality that are available to the customer service rep while they're on the call. So we can discuss issues with other team members by bringing somebody in via Teams on this particular issue. We can take a look at our central knowledge base repository and search for knowledge articles that we can send over to the customer or potentially look up for ourselves to try and help solve the issue. We also have the ability to add things like agent scripts. So if you want to provide a series of steps or scripts that your agents can follow as they're working through an issue with a customer, that can be serviced and provided as well. So that is essentially the basics of what contact center is and why you might want to utilize contact center. So let's talk a little bit about some of the implementation tips and advice that we have, issues that we've encountered while implementing contact center with some of our real world customers. So Rosie, to you.
Yep. So we'll start with analytics and reporting. While the out-of-the-box reports offer a solid foundation with valuable insights, they often require further customization. For example, if you're looking for first call resolution tracking, this is not available out of the box. If your organization wants to measure how often customer issues are resolved on first interaction, you'll need to configure customer reports and tracking mechanisms for that. Another important point is modifying a report. Please do not publish while saving. If you do, the report may break, requiring Microsoft's intervention to fix it. This can lead to some unnecessary downtime. So please always ensure that any changes are properly tested in a non-production environment before applying them.
And Rosie, this is a hard one lesson, right? This is something that we encountered.
Oh yeah, definitely. It happened twice, actually. So yeah, please make sure to not publish while saving. It takes a while to even get through Microsoft to get that fixed as well. So do not publish. Lastly,
just one thing to add on that note. So we're going to be covering a lot of these little pieces of quirks and implementation tips. Now, keep in mind that Microsoft is refreshing the platform on a pretty regular basis. So it could be by the time that you do your implementation after watching this video that Microsoft has fixed some of these things. But you just keep in mind that these are things that we have seen and wanted to provide you. So as you go through your implementations, you won't run into the same things. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Lastly, be aware of data refresh intervals. Most out-of-the-box reports, except for the real-time ones, refresh every few hours. This means that the data presented may be up to about a day old, which can impact some time-sensitive decision-making. So if your business relies on any real-time data for operations that are not already available, you may need to explore some additional reporting solutions for more up-to-date insights. Now, moving on to routing and assignments. Please plan carefully. And I cannot stress this enough, please plan carefully. Setting the contact center up for customer service requires careful planning, especially for routing, work streams, and session templates. Please make sure to use work streams to route cases. It is common for people to use the basic routing rules for cases, but please ensure that you do not have any conflicting basic routing rules, because those are the older style of routing and can impede the new work streams for voice. Next, we have different channels require different queues and routing rules. A voice call will require its own set of queues and rules versus cases created via a portal or via chat or through any other workstream. Make sure that all routing is independent and does not rely on each other. Lastly, agent availability is a factor for most routing situations. So ensure that all users are assigned to the appropriate routing profiles for each channel.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, we definitely see it in the screenshot there, but make sure that capacity is an issue. So as you're designing and implementing the system, each user has a capacity, the capability of handling a certain number of cases. Now, if you're doing voice, most likely their capacity is going to be 1 for voice calls, but that doesn't necessarily mean that their capacity couldn't be more than 1 for, say, a chat bot or chat conversation or an SMS conversation. So again, all these things can be adjusted so that the cases that come in through the various channels get automatically routed based upon their available capacity, and so that we're not overloading agents and decreasing the experience of your customers. All right, so we talked a bit about sort of routing. Now, one of the big things and one of the main reasons why you might want to do contact center is its voice, the voice channel. So the ability to integrate your call system, your call center into your software. So there are quite a number of things that we would recommend as you're going into this. But first off, let's talk a bit about the test and production environments. So and now, again, we're going to get a little bit more on the technical side. So these are just things to keep in mind as you go through an implementation. And of course, we at AlphaBOLD can help you through this process and be happy to help you with your implementation as well. When provisioning your production and test environments, ensure to use an independent Azure Communication Service instance. So what that means is that when you set up your Dynamics 365 Contact Center and you set up the voice channel, it's going to create an Azure Communication Service instance for you as part of that provisioning process. Let's say that you use that, you use it as a sort of a test environment. You're doing your development, you're ready to go live, and you create your production environment. And let's say that you decide to either use that environment and clone it and make a new copy of it, or you decide to make a copy of it to a test environment and use that as your production environment. When you do that, when you create a secondary environment from a copy, just make sure that that new copy has its own ACS instance, which means that you will need to go and provision one manually or deprovision the one you have in that environment and provision a new one. We do not want to make sure, we want to make sure that they're not attached to each other, because affecting one will affect the other one and can cause some significant issues. So as part of this, create a checklist whenever you reset your environments. So if you do use instance copy and aren't using, say, like pipelines or solutions to move your solutions up, we would definitely recommend that you create a checklist so that whenever you do a refresh, that you have that as part of your checklist. Again, changing call settings within Dynamics 365 does change Azure Communication Services. So you can kind of see why you would want a separate Azure Communication Service for one environment versus the other. Synchronization of those changes can take up to 15 minutes, but if you do those directly within Azure Communication Services, that happens instantaneously. There are a few small minor settings where this would that would be affected. If you do end up copying your environment, don't release numbers in the environment that you copy to, because releasing that number will release it within Azure Communication Services. And when you release a number in Azure Communication Services, that number will be pulled out of Azure Communication Services, and in 24 hours will be put back into the pool, which could then be pulled for reassignment. So not something that you want to have happen if you have a live instance with a live phone number that you don't want to lose. So again, want to mention a lot of these things are from from lessons earned in the field. So some general observations. So earlier we saw a screenshot of how we have those the detail pane, the customer details. That's called a session template within contact center nomenclature. Those can be customized, but we do recommend that you minimize customization on those because it can slow down the agent experience. And then finally, when you're setting up the outbound voice piece, if you're using outbound dialing, Microsoft does not recommend that you use 800 numbers. And we can confirm that 800 numbers are not recommended for your outbound numbers and that you use a local outbound number instead. All right. I know lots of lessons learned from the voice channel. Let's talk a little bit about IVR. So interactive voice response, also known as an auto attendant. It's the voice that you hear when you call an 800 number asking you to press 1 for X and press 2 for Y. Well, one of the big selling points of Dynamics 365 Contact Center is that the IVR itself is actually a Microsoft Copilot. And so it can be tuned pretty significantly. But one of the things that a lot of people are missing, or it's buried a little bit in the menus, is that you can very easily change and tune the voice of your IVR. And to do that, it's buried in some of the menus. And so if we take a look here, within our work stream within Contact Center, we have our edit button. And edit will take us into another menu for our voice settings. And if we click on the second tab, language, and edit our primary language, then we'll get access to a bunch of very cool voice settings that allows us to change the speaking speed, the pitch. There's over 30 different voices that we can utilize. You can play them here to see which ones you want to set up. If you want to set up your post-call surveys, this is where you do that as well. So there's a number of other settings and behaviors in here, but just wanted to point this out as one that's an interest of looking at. Additional IVR advice. So again, when you're setting up your branching scripts within Microsoft Copilot, it is essentially the exact same user interface that you would use for, say, your chatbot. In fact, you could build a chatbot for your website and utilize that same IVR, the same chatbot for your voice as well. Now, there's some caveats to that. The first one is we want to make sure that you read the updated documentation. So you may watch this video, you may watch a number of other videos, but this voice technology has changed significantly over the past 6 months and even over the past year. So what I would recommend that you do is obviously look through those videos, play around with the system, dig into it, learn, but make sure that you read the updated Microsoft documentation because they are constantly adding to this software and specifically to these feature sets currently. When you create a bot, so when we're talking about bot creation, we're talking about creation of either the chatbot for the website chat stream, or we're talking about creating the auto attendant, the IVR itself. So if you're creating an IVR voice bot, our recommendation is that you create it through Copilot directly. And I'm going to give you sort of the tip that we've learned. Again, you can create that bot through the Dynamics interface, but we found that creating it through Copilot Studio itself has a better result. It provides the voice template has more features. So if you take a look, all you do within Copilot Studio is you hit the create button and you choose this voice agent to start with. That will create the voice template. And then from within Dynamics 365, you can go ahead and select existing bot and point to this particular voice bot. All right, last page or last bit of IVR advice for today. Test, test, test. So when you're dealing with the voice IVR bot, you want to make sure that you've tested your scripts thoroughly. So the pronunciation of the bot on certain words, you might want to tweak it, tweak how it says certain words. You may want to go through and make sure you don't have a lot of dead air. You want to make sure that all of the paths lead to either an agent or to voicemail or to some other way of handling them. So you really want to go through all branches and make sure that you've tested the scripts thoroughly. You want to test it in a loud environment. So one of the things you can do with these Copilot voice bots is you can actually tune the sensitivity of the actual bot itself. So be sure to include DTMF codes. So we talked about voice activation, but on the phone itself, a DTMF code is, press 1 for this option, press 2 for this option. So you can do it just voice, where it talks to you and you talk back to it and it takes you through those different menus. But we highly recommend that you set it up to use DTMF codes because people are primed or used to using those codes within a voice auto tenant. So again, using conversational settings. So the bot itself has the ability to pull information and actually talk to the person as if it was a conversation. I will say, make sure that the data that it's pulling makes sense in the context of a voice call. You don't want the bot to find an article within your database and sit there and talk for 30 seconds to 5 minutes. So you want to make sure that the content that it's presenting to the caller makes sense in the context of a phone call. All right. Workflow and voice. So I say workflow, and really what I meant to say here is Power Automate and Flow. So within a Copilot itself, you can actually have the system go and run something called a Microsoft Power Automate, a flow. It's automation. It allows us to do things like pull data from external databases. We use it pretty extensively in the voice Copilots that we have built for our customers to go and pull things like query the database for their phone number to see if they're an existing customer and bring back who they are into the context of the IVR, things like that. Being able to pull secondary databases to validate certain other pieces of information, we've used that for that. Now, you want to make sure that anything that you write from a flow perspective runs quickly, because any delays will cause dead air within the IVR. And typically a customer, when they're talking or they're waiting on an IVR, if they're waiting longer than 5 or 6 seconds, they're going to start questioning whether or not they're still connected, because they won't hear anything. And then finally, make sure that any workflow, any flow that you build within relation to that returns a path. Because essentially, if you go and you go out to look at a database and that call fails, it comes back to your Copilot. Copilot basically says, oh, call failed, and then drops the call. So we want to make sure that anything that we're doing within that Copilot will return successfully. So again, that was essentially all of the advice, implementation advice that we're going to provide on the call today. So we're going to go ahead and move on into talking about licensing. So licensing of Contact Center is a little different, and we've got a couple of different options. But the first option we have, and again, we're looking at sort of the retail price, and I think most of the retail prices here are for an annual commit. But what we have here is we have 4 different standalone options. We've got Contact Center Digital, Contact Center Voice, we've got Digital and Voice, and then we have Customer Service Premium. We'll get to the Customer Service Premium in one moment. So Contact Center Digital, going back to what it is we're talking about a Dynamics, core Dynamics database. We've got accounts, contacts, knowledge base, and a few other things, activities, things like that. And for the digital one, it's the channels that it can access are chat, so a chatbot on your website, SMS, and social, and essentially email as well. So these are what we call the digital channels, and that's $95 per user per month. Contact Center Voice, essentially the same thing, except that it's specifically just for the voice channel. So instead of having chat, SMS, and social, you have voice. You still also have the ability to do emails. Again, $95 per user per month. And then, of course, you've got the combine option. It just gives you the same base with all of the same channels, and that's priced at $110 per user per month. Now, I bring up this last option is Customer Service Premium. So a lot of our customers that are interested in this are already on customer service, say enterprise. The premium license is essentially the enterprise license, but includes all of the channels for a single price of $195 per user per month. Okay, so those are our standalone options. So we do have the ability of having add-on options. Now, the coolest thing about Contact Center is that it's available to all most Dynamics modules as an add-on. So let's say that you've got field service or you've got sales and you want to add on these same capabilities. We can do that. And to do that, you have your, say, customer service enterprise license. And if you wanted to add on or tack on, say, the Contact Center digital and voice, you've got your Contact Center enterprise license, which retails, I believe, at $105. And you can have your Contact Center add-on, which is, again, this essentially would bring up your customer service enterprise license to be a customer service premium license. So again, same price. You're paying the $105 base for the Contact Center license, $90 for the add-on. Oops, $90 for the add-on, which would give you essentially the Contact Center premium. But you could do the same thing for sales or field service. You can add this as an add-on license. And then, of course, if you're looking to do just a one channel versus the other channel, voice versus digital, again, it's a lesser price of an additional $75 on top of your base license. And then last but not least, you have to make sure that you're accounting for all the costs. So Azure Communication Service costs. So voice calling is at 0.4 of a cent per minute. So inbound, outbound calls. And then phone numbers. So a local phone number is $1 per month, and an 800 number is $2 per month. Both of those have the capability of also allowing you to send and receive SMS messages, but there are additional costs for SMS messaging. All right. So in summary, today we're talking about Contact Center. If we take a look at some statistics Microsoft has provided to us with Contact Center, Customer Service Enterprise with Contact Center itself, they're seeing a 20% reduction in call misroutes for various communications and channels, a 31% increase in first call resolution. And then, of course, we're talking also about the impacts of Copilot. So this whole solution includes your Copilot IVR. It includes the Copilot summaries and help within the interface itself. You're seeing a 12 to 16% reduction in handle time for chat cases. We're seeing an increase in number of cases that customer service reps can actually support, so increasing our efficiency, and a decrease in the number of instances where a customer service rep requires bringing somebody else in to resolve the case.
All right, everyone. So next steps. Our team is offering a free consultation to evaluate your current needs and identify opportunities for improvement with the D365 Contact Center. Our contact info is pasted down below, so please reach out to us if you would like to schedule some time. At the end of this call, a survey will pop up. Please let us know how we did today and have a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. And lastly, if you have any questions, please reach out to us at info@alphabold.com, or you can call the number listed below.
All right. Well, thank you all for attending today. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us and let us know if you have any additional questions. Happy to do things like demonstrations. And as Rosie mentioned, we have our free assessment if you just reach out to us. So thank you all for attending.
Thanks, everybody.